Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you all for coming out today. Before we kind of dive into the football part of it, I want to give an update on Wiley Green. He's been evaluated by our doctors, and all imaging and testing has come back negative. So obviously, a lot of prayers were answered on that one. Besides some soreness in his neck, he's doing much better. We're going to continue to evaluate him, and we look forward to getting him back sooner rather than later. Talking about the game on Friday night, as we go back and watch the tape, there's a couple good things that we see, to say the least. The biggest ones to me are that we continue to play very, very hard, and that's exciting. I love that they are playing for each other. They're playing with passion, the way this game demands, and I think we're really making some good progress there. I think they're fighting on every play. We just got to find a way to quit allowing big plays to happen to us on defense. A couple in particular stand out in that game, whether it's the long pass or the 96-yard run. And then offensively, we've got to continue to be more efficient, and we've got to end up with the ball in the box more than we have in these first two games. Talk to the team about being consistently resilient, and I don't think there's any other way that you can have those words go together. Temporary resilient doesn't really work. It's not a thing. And as you look at the game, we showed some real resiliency. We responded the way I would want us to in a lot of cases, especially right after Wiley's injury. You see our team convert, put the ball in the end zone. Then our defense makes them go 3 and out. We have a great punt return on special teams by Austin Trammell. And then we end up putting that score in the box to make it 14-14 before the first quarter's over. So that's the type of resiliency this team has to have. It's the way we have to live, and we have to be able to do it for 4 quarters. That's our charge to them. Wake Forest, I look back at them. I think they're a really good team. I think they're a really well-coached team by Dave Clawson and his staff. I think the 23 seniors they have was a big difference. I think their experience was too much for us for 4 quarters, and some of the things they were able to do up front on both sides of the ball allowed them to execute their game plan better than we did. And in our case, a lot of it was because we went away from our technique as things got tough at both fronts, both our offensive line and defensive line. And we've got to find a way that when things are tough, we fall back on our technique and on our training. And that's exactly what we've got to get them to do, is be confident in themselves and in what we're teaching. And we're going to continue to work through that. Bottom line is we're not quite there yet to beat that team. And we felt like we had the ability to on the field, and certainly at times it looked like we did. But we've got to keep making progress. We're just not quite there. But once again, better day by day. And I'm proud of the guys for that and the way they're working. This week, we got a pretty good football team coming into Houston to play us. Obviously, Coach Herman and his staff do a great job. They've rebuilt the culture at Texas. Obviously, everybody knows where that program was and what people's perceptions of it were before he and his staff got there. And I think it's a place that right now has as good of athletes as anybody in America. You look at it, and everybody talks to me about, well, this guy may not play or this guy's ruled out. At the end of the day, they're going to replace him with another incredibly athletic 5-star recruit. And that will be what we see. The big thing that I think is cool is this opportunity for our guys to play the University of Texas, to play them in NRG Stadium in an NFL venue. I think that's going to be a ton of fun for our kids, and it's a great challenge. But it's why our kids came to Rice. I've said it before. Anytime we talk about our schedule, why did they come to Rice? Well, they came here to get a world-class degree and play big-time college football. And you think back, on Thursday we celebrate the 57th anniversary of JFK giving that speech right out there. And I think we all know it, but why does Rice play Texas? Why do we choose to go to the Boone? Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. And that's going to be the challenge that we accept, we embrace as a football team this week. Our players are going to be prepared. We're going to go out and we're going to play incredibly hard, and the rest is going to take care of itself. We're going to control the controllable, and we're going to go into this team, into this game, and we're going to be prepared for the fight that's going to present itself at 7 o'clock, 7:05 at NRG Stadium. With that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Mike, I'm just curious, through 2 games you mentioned a little bit of resilience. How encouraged are you about the steps you guys are taking as a program?
I am definitely encouraged by the steps we're taking, and I mean it when I say it's better day by day. I really do, and again, every day we can stack in that mindset. It's better, but also the biggest thing we stress in this program, well, not the biggest, there's certainly a lot of things we stress, love for each other and things like that that probably stack above it, but finishing is one of them. and we've got to find a way to finish. But the resiliency, the fight, those things are real positive.
What's the biggest challenge besides Texas being Texas going into this game? How do you try to slow them down?
Yeah, I mean, they're a talented group. It's, the quarterback's pretty sporty, whether he's running the ball or throwing the ball right now. So I think there's a lot of challenges. The offensive and defensive lines is going to be outstanding challenges for our group. You just look at that offensive line that Herb Hand's put together over there, bringing in the graduate transfer and Parker Braun from Georgia Tech. I mean, that's a pretty stout group right across the board. Shackelford, Aguilar, they're a good offensive line, and they're big. Their defensive line, I mean, there's nothing we can do on scout team to prepare for a 6'2", 340-pound nose. We don't have anybody in the program that looks like that. So we're going to prepare our kids the best way we can. And again, the thing that I know is they're going to go out there and fight. I know they have the mindset I want them to. Nobody may be giving us a chance. I see the Vegas line and all those things, but in this building, all we can think about is the things we can control and the fight. Our guys right now, they want to beat you in dominoes. They want to fight you across the table in dominoes, and that's what we need to have. And so going into this game, nobody's just going to say, okay, here it is, we'll go play for 60 minutes and let them have it. That's not the mentality this program has.
Do you, so I know your team's going to go up there and fight. Do you kind of in the back of your mind say, well, maybe they'll have a little bit of a letdown coming off that LSU game?
Well, I've been in their shoes, right? I've been in their shoes where you play a top-ranked Oregon team, and whether you win or lose, and then you're playing an opponent that's out of conference. I know the challenges that they have, and I know that they're going to get their kids ready to play. But there's decisions you have to make as a coaching staff too. Do I want to play this guy who's a little banged up in this game, or do I want him back for the conference opener the following week? And so I know the challenges they're going through. They're great coaches. They'll make the right calls for their program. But again, whoever lines up for them is going to be uber talented. And whoever lines up across from us, we're going to do everything we can to come off the ball and fight for 60 minutes.
Coach, you've coached in big-time games. You were also with the Jets in the NFL, Stanford. So you see Texas, and you know where it pretty much stands on the radar. But in terms of being able to communicate that to your players, how do you communicate that to them and understanding, yeah, it's a big-time game, but it's still another opponent?
I think that's the bottom line, Nate, is we have to realize that this is just the next in our 12 promise games we get. And we got to prepare the way we know works. We got to do the things that work and prepare the best way we can. The worst thing we can do is go out there and try to be something outside of ourselves or outside of our schemes, because that never works. So we just have to play together, stay together, and just fight. And that's the biggest thing, is regardless of the stage. I mean, I remember back to those AFC Championship games with the Jets. I remember, being parts of those Pac-12 championships and those Rose Bowls. That was a big part of it. It's trusting your training and then come out and just perform. Be you. Be the best version of you, but be you.
Coach, after the Wake game, you said that you were tired of hearing how much better y'all were getting without the end result of the winning. Did you find anything from this week in terms of an inflection point maybe that y'all are getting closer to that point?
Definitely getting closer. I mean, the fact that we battled back to time at 14 in the first quarter, when maybe maybe we wouldn't have had that resilience even in years past. We would have had the there we go again type mindset that I felt was a part of our program last year that we continued to battle through. So again, those are steps. There's a lot of things, to be honest with you, the fact that we could stand toe-to-toe, the fact that we could move the ball in short yards, the fact that when they overloaded the box in the run game and they were running some of their pressures, we were able to attack them through the air. And we had a receiver like Bradley Grosner step up and make a few big-time plays. And our quarterbacks trust him because of what he did last week in practice. And then now they trust him even more because he's done it in game. So, to see that, to see Tom called into action, and I mentioned it last night at the radio show, but the coolest part of what Tom did isn't even what he did Friday night. It's the fact that he did what's so hard to do, and he prepared like the starting quarterback last week. There's multiple times that I walked into the quarterback room, looked at Coach Picasso, and I just said, "Hey, what you doing, bud?" He's the only one in there. And he said, "Oh, I'm just watching Red Zone, or I'm just preparing this way." And so I think that's why you see a guy come into the game unexpectedly and take advantage of his opportunity and throw for 63% and do some really cool things.
Tom, what do you got this week?
Tom is going to be the starting quarterback for us this week.
What if, heaven forbid something happens, what's the plan after Tom? Where do you guys go from there if you need tool?
Well, fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to package it, we played a lot of quarterbacks last year, and some of them are still in the program. So Evan Marshman's going to be the guy that takes the reps with the twos right now. We also obviously have Javani Johnson, who we believe in tremendously. He's a very talented guy that we're going to keep growing. I don't expect to see him in this game this weekend, but we have some guys that we really trust with some cool tools.
In an ideal world, and obviously you guys have it on it, is he someone that plays for fewer and you guys hold on to red shirt in an ideal world?
Absolutely.
You mentioned a little bit about the history of this. I guess how aware were you of the history of this series when you got here in JFK speech and all that, and I guess how have you come to kind of appreciate that?
Yeah, so I remember hearing about that when I was a kid in Spring Branch, and some of the talk about it. And I remember, anytime you're in elementary school, I think everybody has that one day a week where you wear the team that you follow's shirts. And I remember it seemed like those little 7-year-old girls were the most annoying. Whether their parents went to Baylor or Texas or wherever, they were really proud of those colors. But I remember that in my class there was somebody from Texas and Rice, and they'd go at it pretty hard. Again, that one from Texas was a little more annoying back then.
Insane, coach.
What's It's kind of cool to think that that this was a place that once held just a sitting presidential speech that's been memorized in that way.
It's unbelievable. Like actually, all the history of Rice Stadium, and that's some of the things that again I think we have to continue to educate recruits and their parents on is the JFK speech being there, to a Super Bowl being hosted there, to I think a Rolling Stones and George Strait concert. And those are things we got to start doing again. Like this stadium needs to become more vibrant. We're doing things to make it even better. So I look forward to that. I don't know who the next sitting president will be that speaks there, but I look forward to that too.
With the game there in January, the game the night before, is there any difference in preparation? Do you guys get a chance to walk through? Do you want to walk through there before Saturday?
I don't know if we would have had that opportunity or not. I'm not taking it. We're going to stay in our routine like it's a normal home game. We're going to stay at our team hotel like it's a normal home game, and we'll just bus 0.5 of a mile further. All right. Thank you all.